Now, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Behzinga channel, where I'm wearing a retro West Ham top, so you know that means one thing and one thing only. We are... That was me rewinding. Back to the past, ladies and gentlemen. Merlin's Premier Gold 98 this time. Last time round, we was looking for the David Beckham. And I won't spoil that for you if you haven't seen that video, but make sure to go and watch it. These packs are just amazing. Merlin's Premier Gold 98 trading cards. We are looking for engraved foil club cards, rainbow foil hotshot, and golden moments cards. Last time round, we did find the things to look for. Will we do it again? Before we get started though, ladies and gentlemen, please do crush that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here, because this is no joke, guys. This channel is going to the moon right now. You guys are subscribing, you're liking, it's going down a treat, and I appreciate you. Let's open up this pack and see what it looks like, bro. Imagine going into the shop and seeing it in all its glory. Let me just set it up how the shop would have had it. Here we go. Let me slide that down. Just look at that. You go into your local shop. How cool is that? Shearer on the top. Beckham on the pack. Shearer on the pack. Are there any other artworks? I think it might be just Shearer and Bex, you know. It might just be Shearer and Bex. Ah, there we go. We got a Chelsea player. I think that's Di Matteo. Who else we got? Any others? Yeah, we got some Spurs players. Very, very, very cool. Let's get all these packs out and then we can get busy. So, ladies and gentlemen, there we have it. Our first stack is ready to be opened. Remember what we're looking for. 8 cards in this, engraved foil club cards, rainbow foil hotshots, and golden moments cards. Last time round, it was so fun. So let's do it again. Let's see who we get. Oh, look, it comes with a checklist, a little printout. That's so sick. In 2 years, though, they already evolved to have rainbow foil and engraved foil. Keith Gillespie starting us off. Steve McManaman for Liverpool. Warren Barton for Newcastle. Nick Barmby for Everton. Nigel Martin. Then we have David James. David James is just so cold on his cards, bro. Then we have Nicky Butt, United legend. Is there a card stuck to that? No, there isn't. And then a Robbie Fowler. Very, very, very cool. I'm giving him a... Yeah, they smell old. They smell old. That's legit stuff, ladies and gentlemen. That is legit stuff. Shall we have a look? Have they got the odds on this one? They do. Odds of finding engraved foil cards, 1 in 6. And the rainbow foil cards are 1 in 18. And again, guys, we do have 36 of these packs. So let's see if the gods are kind to us today. Tony Adams for Arsenal. Into a Jeff Kenner for Blackburn. Into a Graham Lasso for Blackburn. Very cool. Per Franson. Ray Parlour, the Romford Geezer. The Romford Squeezer. Yeah, it does still have their place of birth on it. How cool. How cool is that? Place of birth, Romford. Go on, lad. Goodney Bergson. Billy McKinley. And then we've got our first foil hit, guys. We've got our first foil club hit. It is Aston Villa. What a badge, mate. Old school badge. 96-97 season. They finished 5th. Top scorer was Dwight York. 5th overall with 17 goals. Most appearances was Ihiogu and Alan Wright with 38. That is so cool. Oh, mate. This box is even nicer. I mean, like, I know the first box has David Beckham, like, rookie in it. But the fact that you actually get, like, a foil hit in this, engraved foil hit, is very cool. So within 2 packs, we've hit a foil card. Also, lads, I accidentally, look, I don't know if you can see it, that mark. I just accidentally, like, bossed my own headset on me. I went like that, but missed, and it just punked me in the eye, but like the hard plastic bit. And that was the eye that I hit myself with a paddle racket as well. You guys that might be wondering about the black eye here, guess who done it? A geezer named Paddle Racket. This guy literally did this to me last week. I imagine it's probably going to bruise, which is really, really quite annoying. Next up, we have a Stan Collymore, this time for Villa. Roberto Di Matteo for Chelsea. Into a Tim Flowers. Then we have Dwight York, who helped Aston Villa finish 5th. Dennis Bergkamp. Then we have Julian Dix, the Terminator. So cool. Then we have Dean Sturridge. And finishing up with Carlo Nash. Julian Dix, the Terminator, mate. Go on. So sick. So sick. I will be sleeving the West Ham ones, of course. Do you know what's funny as well? You can really feel the cardboardness of these. If you love cardboard, then you'll love this. Next up, Frank Leboeuf. Into a Paul Wilkinson. The kits are already starting to get a bit more modern just in 2 years. Still baggy, though. Mark Draper into Clint Marcel. Then we have Steve Ogrizovic into Azanovic. Then we have Gianfranco Zola, mate. What a player. What a player. Gianfranco Zola. And then we hit an Arsenal foil. We hit the Arsenal foil. Look at that. That looks beautiful on my preview. Arsenal fans. That looks sick, doesn't it? Doesn't that just look sick? Right. Get her in a sleeve. We've hit 2 foils. The hits are flying. And the likes are liking, guys. Are you liking the video? You should be. We're off to see the retro packs. The retro packs of ours. Alan Thompson. Dean Gordon. Jim Maggleton. Ian Walker. Hugo Porpirio for the Ammers. Benito Carbone. Simon Roger. Never trust a man with 2 first names. And Neil Shipley. I just love looking back at all the... There's a reason why classic football shirts is the thing, you know. Especially old school Premier League kits, man, are just gorgeous. Like, we got a pony shirt here. West Ham have a pony shirt, bro. Pony there. Dagenham Motors. Old school badge. Just love it. Next up, we have Russell Holt. Emil Heskey. Legend of the game, Emil. Gunnar Howell. Then we have Keith Gillespie. A Steve McManaman. A Warren Barton. Nick Barmby. And one last card. It's another foil. And it is Leeds. Leeds. That's one for Simon. That is quality. I love doing that. Like just going up with the reflections on the card. That's gorgeous. That one almost just looks like a sticker on the card. But it's in clean condition, you know. These haven't even been battered like that. Like, they've been sealed for, again, nearly 30 years. And look at them. They look pristine. I'm really happy with this purchase. Roberto Di Matteo. Tim Flowers. Dwight York. Dennis Bergkamp. Alan Thompson. Owen Jess. I don't even know how to say that properly. Ryan Jess. Jess. Tony Adams for the Arsenal. And then Jeff Kenner. I'm so bad with like certain Irish names. I don't know why. It's just like I'm not so familiar with them. Next up, we have ourselves a Chris Fairclough. Chris Fairclough. Stan Collymore. Roberto Di Matteo. Tim Flowers again. We're hitting a lot of duplicates this time around. Dwight York again. Dennis Bergkamp again. Alan Thompson again. And then Jess again. The dupes are flying. Next up, we have ourselves Darren Peacock. That's a fresh face. We didn't have one of those. Patrick Vieira. Talk about midfield goats, bro. Patrick Vieira for Arsenal. Look at how young he looks there. Casey Keller. Lee Bowyer. Gary Pallister for United. Carlton Palmer. And we have Peter Schmeichel for United. That kit's so nice. And Jess again. Ole, ole. Stuart Pearce for Newcastle. David May of United. Andy Hinchcliffe for Everton. Des Walker. Then we have John Barnes, the greatest MC alive. Then we have Ian Nolan. And then we finish with Ian Marshall and a Chris Powell. Very cool. The old logo, man. Oh my God, it's the waistcoated legend himself. The waistcoated legend himself. Gareth Southgate. What a geezer. Frank Leboeuf. Paul Wilkinson. Mark Draper. Clint Marcel. Steve Ogrizovic. Azanovic. Gianfranco Zola. And that pack is done. Opening these packs is like, you don't actually even care for the hits because you just get reminded of like how great the league actually is. Felipe Albert for Newcastle. Then we got, I can't even read his name then. Bjornaby. Asprilla. David Unsworth. Neil Lennon. Patrick Berger for Liverpool. Jamie Redknapp for Liverpool. Look at him. Locks flying in the air. Just turned someone inside out. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, mate. Look at the condition on the surface of the card, guys. It's nearly 30 years old. And they're in that good nick. So far, though, we've got 2 West Ham players, 3 badges on the foils. Can we hit one of them golden moments? Lee Bowyer. Gary Pallister. Carlton Palmer. Peter Schmeichel. Darren Peacock, Russell Holt, Emil Heskey, and finishing up with a Gunnar Hull. Harley. Gunnar Hay. Gunnar Hull. Gunnar. One on one bitches ain't 10. That was my Gunnar impression. Sorry if you listened to Gunnar. I probably just absolutely butchered that. We got Vialli for Chelsea. Kevin Gallagher. Aryan Dezui. Dezou. Lee Dixon for Arsenal. We're seeing some new faces now. Nathan Blake. We're seeing the new faces for Bolton there. Keith Brannigan. Finishing up with a Chris Fairclough. And another shiny Arsenal badge. The foil is coming out. The foil is coming out tonight. They're lighting up my packs tonight. Obviously, by this point in the world, in the universe, 98, Ethan Behzinga was 3 years old. 3 years old I was. 3 years old. Just noodling about, getting on with my life. Gary Taggart. Jerry Taggart even, sorry. Hugo Ehigo. Hugo Ehiogu. Darren Huckabee. I'm probably still butchering those names. Nicky Eden. Mark Bosnich. Neil Redfern. Sorry, it's hard to read in the gold foil. Per Pedersen. Savio Milosevic. And that pack is done. So we've had 4 parallel badges so far. Can we get a hot shot moment? A rainbow hot shot. Andy Sinton for Spurs. Matt Latisse. Legend of the game. Ian, right. For Arsenal. Tim Sherwood. Looking ever so cool there. Martin Bullock. Scott Sellers, Nigel Winterburn for Arsenal, and finishing up with a David Watson. Tell you what, because they've used like a thick font and the gold text, some of the words like they merge, they all merge. Maybe it's the Bosch to the face I took. Maybe I'm losing it a little bit. Who knows? Next up, we got a Ronnie Johnson for Manchester United, Gary Kelly, Dejan Stefanovic, Duncan Ferguson, big hard dunk. That sounds pause. Peter Atherton. Then we have Igor Stimac. Alan Shearer, the man on the box. The classic Selly. He's actually even got his ring out there. Usually they have to wear tape, don't they? And Lee Sharp. Legendary. Alan Shearer, mate. Go on, get in a sleeve, Alan. We'll sleeve Alan. He's the man on the pack, eh? You got to sleeve the man on the pack. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Gianluca Vialli. Kevin Gallagher. Dezou. Lee Dixon. Nathan Blake, Keith Brannigan, Chris Fairclough, and Stan Collymore. Some more West Ham or some more foils, and I'll be a happy bunny. Look at that old ball, man. That old ball, the Umbro ball. Dan Petrescu for Chelsea. David Seaman for Arsenal. What a legend. John McGinley. John Hendry. Gary McAllister. And we have ourselves a Patrick Vieira again. Legend. An upside down. Jacob Lawson. And finishing up with a Casey Keller. Some of these kits and the vibe you get off the cards are just ridiculous, man. Genuinely, if I could just get boxes sent to my house every day, bro, I'd be over the moon. Next up, we have Stuart Pearce. This card definitely got a dink in the corner. Stuart Pearce. David May. Andy Hinchcliffe. Des Walker, John Barnes, the greatest MC, Ian Nolan, Ian Marshall. I swear, you always go like back-to-back Ian on this. Chris Powell. And coming up last, we have ourselves the Champions Premier League card. Oh my God, look at how lovely that is. Surely that's got to be a rare hit, bro. This is a golden moment. Golden moment 4 or 5. We've hit our first golden moment, guys. And that is very similar to what we see today on some sets, isn't it? I know it's the trophy. There's an impact mark like here. You see that on the screen. But my God, that's a beautiful card. That's a lovely card of the Premier League. Very reminiscent of what we see today. Go on, the Merlin 98. You knew what you were doing. So there we have it, guys. We've hit one of the golden moments. It's a shame it's the trophy, because it would have been cooler if it was a player. However, we've still got some chances. Robbie Fowler. Oh, yes. David Becks. The corner's a little bit battered on that one, but again, one to sleeve. Stuart Pearce. Darren Peacock. Russell Holt. Emil Heskey. Gunnar Hull. Keith Gillespie. And finishing up with a Steve McManaman. Yeah, that David Beckham's definitely had a little bit of a party in the box or been bussed around in transit. However, David Beckham no longer rookie year. Look at that. Look at the edges at the top. See that? Battered, mate. But very, very cool. 42 appearances by this point. 36 league games and 8 goals. 9 caps for England. Right, we got one more stack of packs. Wonder what we'll be getting. Klaus Lundkvam. Lundkvam. Chris Armstrong. Paul Kitson. Mustafa Is it really? Robert Lee. And then Bruce Dyer. Is it? Wicked. Gary Speed, rest in peace. Looking very cool on that card. And Andy Cole. Real striker. Real bad man. 7 million from Newcastle. 20 appearances, 7 goals in the 96-97 season. Only 2 West Ham players so far, you know. Only 2. Andy Roberts. Thought we played for Liverpool. Ian Rush. My God, what a throwback. Sol Campbell. Some big names in this one. Vinnie Jones, mate. Oh my God, I'm sleeving Vinnie Jones. What a hard bastard. Kevin Muscat. Per Pedersen. Milosevic. And finishing up with a Petrescu. Vinnie Jones, you nutcase, bro. Right. We've got a little wall of hits below us now. Can we hit anything else? We have ourselves a Marcus Gale. Mark Edworthy. Mark Reaper for West Ham. He'll be getting sleeved. Ryan Giggs. A great one to get. Reggie Blinker. He was in the last set too. Richard Shaw. Dennis Wise. And then a John Hartson as well. There we go. 2 West Ham's hits in the same pack. These packs are just so good. It feels so retro, bro. Because they are. So we've got our West Ham pile. We've got our badge pile. And we've got our hits pile. We've got a golden moment pile too. Because we have got one. We're just looking for another. Let's see if we can find it. Petrescu. David Seaman. John McGinley. John Hendry. Back-to-back Johns. Gary McAllister. Patrick Vieira. Jacob Lawson. And then Casey Keller. Let's keep going. At least none of the cards are stuck to each other like in the other one. Lee Bowyer. Gary Pallister. Carlton Palmer. Peter Schmeichel. Darren Peacock. Russell Holt. Emil Heskey. And finishing up with a gunner. 1-on-1 bitches ain't 10. Here we go. Kenny Cunningham. Stefan Iverson. Ostenstad. David Seaman. John McGinley. John Hendry. It's back-to-back Johns always, bro. Gary McAllister. And then we have another Rainbow. We have another rainbow foil Everton badge, bro. These just look so clean, man. So clean. There we go. Whack that rainbow foil up there. Let's fulfill the odds. One more golden moment. Just do it. Go on. Van Gobble. Julian Dix. Dean Sturridge. Carlo Nash. Ludek McCloskey. His name is Ludo McCloskey. He comes from New Moscow. He plays in goal for West Ham. West Ham. When I walk down the street, everyone I meet, it's like, oi, big boy, what's your name? My name is Ludo McCloskey. I come from New Moscow. Playing goal for West Ham. West Ham. Unreal, bro. Getting sleeved. Real Fox. Then we have Robbie Slater and Andy Linnigan. What a tune, by the way. That's one of my favourite West Ham chants. Having him, that's made the pack opening. It's made the pack opening. Having someone that I can chant and spin my chair about. That's made it, baby. Talk to me. Terry Tibbs. What else we got? Neil Thompson. Gary Taggart. Uga Ehiogu. Darren Huckabee. Nicky Eden. Mark Bosnich. Finishing up with a Neil Redfern. And a Chelsea badge. Go on, mate. The badges are flying in now. The foil engraved badge is flying. And I will say, these badge cards are always in lovely condition. They've preserved themselves well. Keith Gillespie for Newcastle. McManaman of Liverpool. Warren Barton of Newcastle. Nick Barmby for Everton. Nigel Martin. David James for Liverpool. Nicky Butt for United. And finishing up with a Robbie Fowler for Liverpool. Star-studded pack that time round. Bless you. Steve Claridge. David Batty. Minar Batty boy. Slaven Bilic. This time for Everton, I believe that is. Roy Keane. Yes, we hit a Keno. Brian Dean. And we have a Kvami. Bjorn Tor Kvami. Rod Wallace. And finishing up with an Emmanuel Petit. A Petit, bro. Petit for Arsenal. Petit for Marge. How about that? Next up is Tony Adams for Arsenal. Jeff Kenner for Blackburn. Graham Lasso for Blackburn. Peter Fransden. Ray Parler, the Romford legend. Romford geezer. Goodney Bergson. Finishing up with a Billy McKinley. And a Neil Thompson. The penultimate pack, guys. Let's just take in the pack artwork again. Premier Gold 98. FA Premier League. 8 cards. Can we hit our second golden moment? Because it says 1 in 18 and we've opened up 36. So, Nigel Winterburn. Penultimate pack. David Watson. Gareth Southgate. Frank Leboeuf. Paul Wilkinson. Mark Draper. A Clint Marcel. And finishing up with an Ogrizovic. So does that mean that there's 1 in our last pack? That would be nice if we saved it right to the end. Or we might have just been done by the odds this time round. We've got Azanovic. Gianfranco Zola. Viali. Kevin Gallagher. Come on, last pack magic. Dezui. Lee Dixon. Oh, here it comes. Nathan Blake. And the final card is going to be... It's not a golden moment, but it is Keith Brannigan. Damn. We failed the odds, guys. We failed the odds. Should we go through what we got here today, though? Out of the West Ham players, we got Big Ludo. Ludo Miklos, go. Julian Dix. Then we have Mark Reaper. Then we have John Hartson. We have Paul Pirio. And we have Julian Dix again on the hammers. Those are the hammers hits. We have got Vinnie Jones, the hard bastard, sat by himself. David Becks, 98. A little bit bashed up, but we take it. Alan Shearer, the man on the box. A Premier League goal-scoring legend. The badges we got here today. Let's go through those. So we got ourselves the Everton engraved foil. The Leeds engraved foil. The Villa engraved foil. The Chelsea engraved. The Arsenal. And Bosch. And then the one golden moment that we did hit today. And I do think the card is gorgeous. It is the Premier League Champions trophy for 96-97. And it was Manchester United. Another incredible season for the Red Devils, in which they won their 11th league championship. And more incredibly, their 4th in the last 5 years. So go on. Go on, the Premier League champions. The golden moment. Very reminiscent of what we see today on the foil fractor. And already, ladies and gentlemen, you know what to do. It's been a pleasure to open up this box with you today. I hope you've enjoyed it just as much as I did. If you could, please drop a like on the video. It means the world to me. Subscribe. That does too. Love you lot. Have a good day. Have an even better week and an even better life. And I'll catch you in the next one. See you later.